Okay, this is the last rule I'm going to teach you about memorizing the polyatomics. Once you've got this rule down, there's like 3 or 4 more that are left that I need you to memorize, but there really isn't a rule for those ones. So you'll see that, you'll just have to kind of memorize those 3 by brute force. But here's another rule that's going to help you memorize a large number of polyatomics with very little work. I've got 3 polyatomics here: carbonate, sulfate, and phosphate, right? Now, if I were to add an H plus ion to it, right? If I were to add that in to each one, the total charge combined, a 1 plus and a 2 minus, that would give me an overall charge of 1 minus, right? Minus 2 plus 1 equals minus 1, just like math class. Same thing over here. That would give me overall a 1 minus charge. Oops, sorry. Over here, that would actually give me a 2 minus charge. And I could actually even add in another H. If I had 2 of them all together, minus 3 plus positive 2 equals minus 1, right? If I had 2 H's, that would increase the charge to a minus 1. So how do we name these things? Well, first of all, we have to rewrite the formula. Okay, this one here is going to be HCO3 1 minus. That's the new formula. This one here is going to be HSO4 1 minus. Notice that the number of oxygens did not change, and the only thing that did change is the charge. The charge goes up by 1. This one over here is HPO4 2 minus. And then this one would be H2PO4 1 minus. So what we're doing here is we're adding an H plus ion to a pre-existing polyatomic. It makes a brand new polyatomic. Watch the naming. It's very straightforward. Hydrogen carbonate. Hydrogen carbonate. Another way you might see that is actually bicarbonate. Okay. Bicarbonate is actually baking soda, which if you've been doing your polyatomic, or if you've been doing your take a selfie with a chemical project, you might know that. Hint, hint, hint. Bicarbonate is baking soda, and that's just the olden days way of naming hydrogen carbonate. You do not need to memorize this one. That's okay. Hydrogen carbonate, and notice it is not hydrocarbonate. You are not allowed to use hydro at all ever for any reason. Hydrogen carbonate. Well, this one is hydrogen, can you guess? Sulfate, right? Hey, look at that, right? And by the way, we can do this with sulfite also. If we did HSO3 1 minus, that would be hydrogen sulfite. Easy peasy, right? Hydrogen phosphate. I don't want to run out of room here. Phosphate. And finally, this one right here, there's 2 hydrogens, right? So I have to keep it different from hydrogen phosphate. I'm going to call it dihydrogen. The prefix di means 2, right? 2 hydrogens, dihydrogen phosphate. So if you can remember that hydrogen increases the charge by 1, meaning gets, if it's -2, it goes up to -1, right? We're talking about negative numbers here, so it's like math class. So hydrogen increases the charge by 1, and we just put the word hydrogen in front of the polyatomic, and we're done.